Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Coffee and Cigars. We're here on, what is it, Thursday, October 24th, and we are doing another live stream here from the garage. I've been working here trying to figure out how to. And it's not mine. I'm borrowing this. This is Matt's Domino. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm working on this cabinet project to house this heater, right? And so I thought, instead of just using the pocket hole joints, why don't I try to use this, learn how to use this domino thing. So that's what we're doing. So how's it going? How's everyone doing? Brian, good to see you, man. How's everything going up there in New York? We are here and having a nice time today. Went down to Virginia to go pick up some, some video recorders that I had won at an auction. I got the Betacam SX deck and a HD cam deck, which are professional, like full-on broadcast type of decks, and they're very, very, what do you call it? They're very heavy. They're like massive, ridiculously massive things. So, but I was able to get them here, and yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So, how's everyone doing? Everything going well? We're going to let's brew some coffee. We got some coffee to brew up here. If you happen to watch this morning's live stream, I did this brewing from on the road, and I was really surprised at how well the approach that I took turned out to be. Meaning that instead of preparing hot water, I brought a bunch of hot water that was already been boiled, and I put them in this mere 32-ounce thing, and it turned out pretty well. When I got home around 6 o'clock, I dumped it out, and it was still pretty darn hot. Like, actually, I would not have drank it straight up without it cooling. It's really impressive how well this is held. And that was probably about 20 ounces of the 32, or maybe a little bit less than, maybe 18 ounces. So I've got a little bit of a cold today. I was originally going to do a show that included maybe one of the new My Fathers, like the 20th anniversary or the Garcia y Garcia. But I've got this cold that seems to be starting, and I thought, you know what? It wouldn't be fair to evaluate those cigars if I'm not at a better, what do you call it? At a better, place as far as my sinuses go. So we're gonna hold off on those. What's up, Rusty? How's it going, man? How's it going? If you guys are not aware, Rusty is competing in the chili cook-off at Widmer's Tobacco this weekend, this Sunday, in just south of Philadelphia. Widmer's Tobacco is a great little shop. We've been going there. I've been meeting Rusty up there for this event for the last couple of years, and we've had a real nice time. It's actually a good time to hang out, and there's a bunch of guys that are cooking chilies and just hanging out, smoking cigars, drinking. It's a good time if you got the time to come up. Come on up, Barry Widmer, the guy that owns the shop. I mean, he's like the second or third generation of shop owners. Really welcoming, really great little place, and nice little lounge. Good selection of cigars. I don't think they have RoMa, but a nice selection of cigars. Whenever I have the time and I'm driving through Philly, I'll actually try to stop by if I can to have a visit. Yeah, absolutely. We got to support Barry. Barry's a great guy. Great guy. Great guy. Okay, so today what we're gonna do is I boiled some water maybe about half an hour ago. Put it in here, straight off the boil, sealed it up, and it should be fairly hot. Like right here, you can feel the warmth. And I've got my Festool mug again. We're gonna try this mug again, see if we can get it to do something. But today we're going to try this coffee called the Alpine Start Original Blend. This Alpine Start is a company that makes coffee that is instant, that is designed to be really used for camping trips. Right? It's just an easy way to make camping coffee. It's supposed to be, what does it say here? Medium roast, 100% high altitude Colombian Arabica coffee. So it's supposed to be nicer quality. Maybe if I had that cold drink tea tonight, too. I'll have to try some of that. Oh, Dai's with us. What's going on, Dai? Kimchi tea is his suggestion. How you doing, Dai? Man, good to see you. It's been a while. We're gonna hang out more. So there's some packs here. I actually used this in a video that will be released. I thought I was gonna release it last weekend, and I never did. But these are instant coffee packets. So they come instant, and you mix it with water, just like you know, Taster's Choice or anything like that, and it's all good. You just kind of do all that, and that's what we're going to do. So it's a really simple way of brewing coffee. And if you watch like this morning's live, if you go to the main channel and see this morning's live stream, I'm in the car driving down to Arlington, where we're talking about coffee and talking about how coffee is about compromise. So compromise is we don't always have to grind it fresh. We don't have to do all this craziness to brew coffee. Sometimes we can just use something more simple to get an enjoyable coffee in the moment that has some sort of compromise. Whenever you're traveling somewhere, there could be some compromise, and I think that's all right. All right, so Devin's with us. What's going on, Devin, man? How are you doing today? We're going to take our little Festool cup. We're going to open it up. A little bit of water. Oops. And we're going to take our Alpine Start. This is good for like 8 ounces. Is that right? Yeah, about add 8 to 10 ounces. So it says, add this into your cup. It's good for 8 to 10 ounces, and stir well. I don't know how if it's instant, freeze dried instant, which is what most instant is. I don't know if you really have to do any kind of stirring. You shouldn't have to, at least. Okay, just tear it down the center. Since it's instant, it could be like, I guess you could do it like cocaine. Okay, we're gonna put that in there, and now you can see here we've got the instant coffee in there. And now we're going to add the water. Let's just go down here, show you what that looks like. I'm going to take this lid off. The water is going to be really hot. It's probably about 8 ounces. Ouch. All right, that's it. That's it. It's all ready to go. Should be awesome. Oh, gosh. Oh, that doesn't smell awesome. That smells dirty, defective. Even through my nostrils, I can. Oh, I'm a little bit scared to drink that. Put that on. It is hot still. It is hot. It is hot. I should probably put a jacket on too. All right. There it is. So it's maybe my cold is occluding it, but it's not horribly terrible. So like I said, because I got this cold, I was thinking, it would not be fair to use the Garcia or the 20th anniversary Pepin, because those are supposed to be really special cigars, really nice quality cigars. And we really want to give it its fair shake, especially since my proclivity is, my typical response to Garcia cigars has been negative, or not negative, it just hasn't really jived with me. So want to give it the most chance. So today we're going to be doing a RoMa craft cigar, one that Tony was selling, they were clearing out the RoMas at his shop. He called us up. He was like, "Hey, man, I got some cigars. You guys want some cigars?" And I was like, "We want some cigars, man." And luckily, I happened to be in the car, so I was like, "Oh, I'm going to head down to your shop right now and pick those up." And that's what we did. Picked $7 a cigar, so it came in a pack. Well, let's go get it. came in a little pack like this. I've already smoked a few of them, so a bunch. This one was Volstead Revenuers and Intemperance Whiskey Rebellion Intemperance. So really nice smokes, enjoyable, especially at $7. Who can say that's a bad thing? George, what's going on, man? Evening, all enjoying a Jaime Garcia successor in Toro. What do you feel about that so far? I'm presuming you're just starting out. What do you think about it? I'm interested to know your thoughts. Offhand, off the cuff. Can't put this away. This Alpine coffee, not bad, not crazy good. I'm gonna put the lid on so that it'll preserve it for a bit. So like I said, I'm working on this idea of using the domino to make this little tiny cabinet cart, because I've never used it, and I could use the pocket hole screws, right? I got a pocket hole screw set here that I've used before. I'm kind of familiar with that, but I thought, you know what? People on the internet hate the domino. They hate it a lot. They like to hate on the use of it. So I thought, well, why not try to figure it out and use it? And especially since Matt's kind enough to let me borrow his, I could get it. Now, if you're interested in this kind of thing, they're actually having a sale at our local Woodcraft where you can get this DF 500 domino, and you can get it with a whole bunch of the dominoes, the tenons, for like $1,300, which it's $1,300 pretty much by itself. So to get that plus like a big kit that has all the parts and a couple more bits is really quite a surprisingly nice deal. Where's the Festool cigar cutter? We need to get one of those. I need to call. Maybe I should call them. What's up, Tony, man? How are you doing? We're just talking about the bag of cigars that you were calling us about this past week. Fabulous, fabulous. George says it's my second one. Delicious tasting. Didn't you? Were you the one that was smoking one last week? I remember one of you guys was smoking that last week. Oh, gosh. Okay, so, but what is this, right? So this domino is this device that creates mortise and tenons. I'm only learning this past week, right? I'm only learning. But there's a drill bit in here. You can see the drill bit right there, right? And it spins, and then it wavers like this, so that it creates this hole that's kind of long, and you can put the tenons. I guess they're called tenons. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, these are the tenons. Well, let's grab this bag. This is a bigger one. These are the tenons, right? So you can grab it will hollow it out, right? So there's a hole that will fit this, and you shove this in the hole on both ends of whatever you're doing, and it helps to hold the piece together. And evidently there's a whole like science behind these little dominoes. Devin says, I'm smoking the Paul Stulak. I'm not familiar with that. That's a whole new one for me. Paul Stulak, Miami, with a new Riff single barrel. Ooh, that sounds delicious. And evidently, yeah, these are engineered out of like a European beach, and they're engineered with all these like, you can see these like ribs there, or there's like these whatever patterns, and there's ribbing here, and these are all designed to do certain things. Like this face here is supposedly giving you more face grabbing power when you glue it up. And then these ribs here, I think, are there to help push out excess glue that may be inside the hole. It'll help to push it out so that your domino will fit into the hole more correctly, right? Like imagine lubrication flying out, right? Kind of like that. And they come in different sizes, of course, but we're going to use something small today. We're going to use little 5mm by 30mm. Oh, I think these are the 5 by 30. I know Matt tore the other bag, but I'm really bad. I really hate to tear things, so I like to cut and make it look pretty. All right, so these are, I'm not sure how big these are. These are, oh, these are too long. These are 40mm dominoes. We don't need 40mm, we need 30mm. I think this might be it. 40mm will go through, may go through the, yeah, there we go, 30mm, right, by 5mm thickness and 10mm or 15, 18 millimeters wide, I think it is. So that is what we're going to be using. And I've already replaced the bit in the domino to be the right one for this. But before we do that, let us get into our cigar for the evening, because it is that time. It is that time, baby. It's that time. I need to get my score sheet together. Where's the score sheet? So what else been happening with everybody? Anything interesting going on? We are here. There is a Total Wood Expo or Wood Pro Expo, something like that happening in Lancaster, PA tomorrow that I think I'm going to hit up. Okay, here it is. This is the Revenuer from RoMa. There it is, looking nice, huh? What do you think? Whoops. A little bit of blotchiness, but, I guess that can't be helped. What do you think on the color? I think a little bit lower. Yeah. When it comes to the color, I'm thinking right about here. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just using the cheap cutter. I got a bunch of cutters in here from years ago, so I really haven't had to consider stocking this room. Okay, nice little cut there. You know what? Here's the problem. Like I said, I've got this cold now that's just starting today, and there's some sweetness, but I don't know if I'm getting much of anything. Let's begin. Devin says petite Coronas are one of my favorites. Ooh, yeah, they're fun. I think the Coronas can be really great cigars. I think this is the size in the new Pennsylvania broadleaf version of the Cro Magnon. I think is the best smoking of the entire collection of the new RoMa Craft Cro Magnon Pennsylvania broadleaf. Mm. I definitely have a cold because there's this particular flavor whenever I have a cold that I can taste from cigars that isn't really, that may not really be real. All right, so here's a little bit of crazy thing that happened. So I come back from my drive down to Arlington, Virginia today. And I come back to the house and I get here and I notice that my trash cans are out. Not unusual. It's Thursday, so they should be out, right? So I put them in. But when I got back, one of the lids of the trash can had come off and was sitting on the ground. And the pickup's not till tomorrow, so I'm gonna go pick it up. Pick it up, put it back on top. Tony says smoking the L'Atelier Mélange Especial 2, Corona Gorda, and Diet Cherry Pepsi. Excellent. How's that turning out? How's it turning out so far? And Devin says getting the cow in the barnyard. No, oh, that could be. That could be. There's this particular flavor that I get whenever I have a cold, and I try to smoke cigars. That it's kind of like that. But the what is it? It's off. So I get the lid is off, and the trash can. So I get off. So I pull up. Oh, I'm gonna put that lid back on before it blows away, and then like gets run over, and then all this kind of then I have more problems. Got to go buy new rubbish can. So I go there, pick it up, I put the parking brake on, pick it up. Suddenly, I notice as I'm bending up with it, I notice there's something moving here. Son of a gun! The truck is pulling away from me. I was like, what the heck? So it turns out I might have put the parking brake on, but I didn't put in park. It's still in gear. It's still in drive. Son of a gun, this truck starts driving away from me. Not at any speed, but I was like, holy smokes. It's just like you see in YouTube videos, right? And I'm booking it now. Like I'm booking it towards this truck, and I'm like, oh God, right? And I've got this big pine tree, like this old 30-year-old pine tree that's pretty sizable. And it's on the grass now, and it's kind of gliding towards it. And I'm like, oh no. I was like, if I don't stop the vehicle, it's going to hit the pine tree and it's going to damage the truck. So I was like, oh my gosh. So, but I'm booking it. And so, those of you who know me probably noticed that maybe I have lost a little bit of weight over the last year, which means that my pants don't really fit very well. And I'm booking it, man. I'm booking it. My pants are falling. By the time that I reached the truck, and thank God I was able to reach, man, you should know, a fat guy running his ass off after this vehicle, right? And I am like all out. I'm like going all out at it, right? And I left the door open, thank goodness. I was able to reach the vehicle. I was able to reach in, and I mean, this truck is gonna hit this thing. It's gonna hit, and I'm able to grab the wheel and just start to turn it a little bit to the left to avoid the tree. And I'm holding on to. I'm thinking, how am I gonna jump in here? my pants are at my ankles now. My shorts are at my ankles. Oh my gosh, man! But luckily, I was able to hop up, get like my ass cheek onto the side saddle of the side bolster of the chair of the seat, and swing my legs in and then hit the brakes. Oh my gosh, man. It was utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. So that's my adventure for the today. And part of that's because, man, I've not been able to sleep very well. So as I was coming back from my trip to Virginia, and I'm exhausted, I feel exhausted. I get to this exit that's 2 exits from where I live. And I can't go any further. I really have to stop. I'm already feeling like I can barely control the vehicle. And it's rush hour. So I get off the ramp. I'm 2 exits from where I live. I pull into this industrial park and I park there and I just roll the chair back and I just try to like chill and like maybe nap a little bit because I was so exhausted. I was like, man, especially because I had started this cold started yesterday. Like I can't breathe at night, so it takes a long time for it to dry out so that, I can breathe and sleep. It's terrible. Devin says, I noticed it and you look good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Keep it up. But you should have got that. Man, if I could have got that on video, you guys would be laughing. I'd be going viral on TikTok. Man, no, there's very few feelings that are worse than seeing your vehicle driving away without you. You're just like, oh my God, what in the world is going on there? And there's few things that are more ridiculous than seeing a fat guy running after his vehicle. I wonder if any of my neighbors were outside. They probably would have been laughing. Or anybody driving by, like, what's going on over there? So that's my day. That's my day. This cigar, what I can tell, it does taste really nice. I think of the two in this pack, the Whiskey Rebellion, and they're both the same Corona Gorda size. I do like the Volsteads better. And it's interesting because it's this light brown intemperance, which is supposed to be part of the whole other side of intemperance, where the darker intemperance is probably closer to my Revenge. But I just like this one. I smoked a few of them already, and I like this one. I'm gravitating towards this one a lot. All right. So that's where we are. That's where we are. We are. Let me get rid of some of this detritus. Now, I did want to try this domino thing because I'm really kind of under the gun. I'm starting to feel more and more under the gun as the days go by to get this cart finished because it'd be nice to have a proper cart for the heater before the cold weather really starts to set in here. Tony says that Sumatran wrapper is a little nicer than the Habano on the Whiskey Rebellion. Ah, okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree 100%. Okay, let's put this back. Push those down so I don't make the mistake of grabbing the wrong one. Okay. As I've been cleaning up the garage, I've been finding some interesting stuff. As you can see here, there's now a drill press. This is actually my brother's drill press. He had it buried in a bunch of stuff here in the garage. And I was like, I think I see a drill press. I'm going to dig it out and start using it. Of course, I haven't started using it yet, but it's a big old 20-inch Dayton drill press. Kind of nice. Kind of beefy. Okay, let's get this together. Now they say that the domino is going to make things a bit easier. So I've got the bottom. This is the bottom piece for the cart. Is that right? Yeah, bottom, bottom. And one of the important things to do, they say, is to make sure that you label things well. Otherwise, you could get into a lot of trouble. So, as you can see here, I have scribed the line for the vertical. These are the verticals. Center, that's the A side. This is the side we need here. This is the C, says a C here, exterior side. And this side goes like this. Of course, it doesn't say, I really should be putting up lines that say, this is the up, and this is the front. Okay, because I've also put a little line here so that what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to take it, right? And you notice I've matched the mark here. So I've got this here. And I kind of messed this up. Like I haven't really been very good at this whole like carpentry thing lately because I've been out of it for such a long time. I really mucked up the cut. Look at this, terrible. Look at that right there. So all like hemajang, right? Look at that. So we're just gonna hide that later. But you put it together and you scribe a line, right? Like that. And then you lay it down. There's a line here too as a reference point. And you line them up so that the board is on the line. Okay. And then we're going to clamp it down. Don't judge, don't judge. All right, that should do us a nice thing here. Tony said, Buddy and I were not going to say, it's all right. I was still using that old DeWalt saw that I have, which is a great saw, but what happened was that I was trying to cut it last night. Oops. And I'm sitting there trying to remember how to cut the saw. And I'm looking at it this way, trying to follow the guideline, right, the center line. And then I was trying to put a straight edge on it and use it like a track, like a guide. And I was like, this is just disaster. And then I remembered that I was holding it like this, right? Where the blade is here, right? It's cutting that way. I was holding it like this. And then I realized I'm supposed to hold it like this so I can actually see the blade and the line and follow it. So finally, the last cut, I was able to like do it somewhat nicer. And okay, remember that. And yeah. Tony says if you're not using a table saw, that's what. Yeah, but the thing is that the cut that I was making, I've got the rip guide thing. I don't. It was too far from the edge to utilize that, right? So I was like, okay, that's not going to work. So I'm trying to use this as a straight edge, clamping it down. But you know what? I just have this basic bench, and so I don't have all the woodworking like dog holes and all that kind of stuff that all those guys on YouTube are using. So I'm like, this is just disaster. I feel like it's going out, but it's all right because it's a way to learn and figure out, okay, what do I really need to make adjustments to? I think I got to puff on this more so we get good puffing. Where was your Festool track? So Matt's got the TS75, and he was like, yeah, you could use that if you want. And I was like, you know what, man? I don't want to rely on all Festool. Like, I got some great tools here, right? That old DW364 DeWalt is an awesome saw, but I'm gonna tell you what, trying to make that straight cut. I was like, man, I really would like to have that. I really would like to have that Festool track saw. Would be so nice. Okay, so let's give it a try. See if we can do this without totally mucking it up. Whoops. We're going to, I should probably get some hearing. Turn that on. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got our domino. We need our dust collection stuff. And then the nice thing about these Festool things, they have these twist lock things that you can you can have it all integrated. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to try to do this correctly. Now there are some pins here, locating pins, that I'm going to use on here. Maybe this will be good, maybe this will be bad. We're going to find out in a moment. So Festool Sedge, that says you come in with it and then slide it over. I've got it on set on the loose tenon because I don't know how poorly I can do this. Okay. Now you just come over. Oh, oh. One thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to change Move to the wider because this side is actually a couple millimeters longer. Okay. Okay, there it is. We now have our little mortise tenons here. A little bit of disaster going on there, which I guess is not to be surprised. More to be expected. Did the cigar go out is the question. Yeah. Tony says they make a rip fence for that, can clamp onto any piece of material. I know I need to look at those things, man. I need to figure out. I watch all these videos and I see these guys talking about what you need, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna buy any of those. I figure that I need to do the work and figure out, okay, which will tell me what I probably need to get, right? It's just like, do you need the Paul Gamerian cutter right away? Or is that something you get later? How only $13. Nice. Okay, so this thing wants to go out. Oh, Brian's with us. What's going on, Brian? How are you, man? George says it's like watching Tool Time from Home Improvement. Yeah, those guys know what they're doing. I don't. I've just been watching YouTube videos trying to understand what I'm doing. And maybe I only watched them a couple minutes, about a half an hour ago before we came out here. Okay, so we've got our 5x30 dominoes. Oh, one thing they did say was that if you're going to test fit it, what you should do before test fitting it, because evidently when you put these in, they're a little bit tight. Oh, not these are not going to be tight because these are very loose because I cut them pretty wide. So you can cut them wider, right? There's these three settings, right? You can cut them wider right here or tighter. So more precise, less precise that way if you need to move it around to adjust. And let's see. Let's just put this in here and see how it fits. Ooh. Yeah, so this has a very large amount of movement, right? Look at that. It has a long movement. So if you're more precise in what you're doing, it should be a lot easier to do that. But right here, it's very, huh? Uh-huh. I'm now going to put some notes on the back side of this so that I know that CB here goes to this CB there. Okay, so that works. Okay, we'll put that to the side now. What we want to do next is this side, and now that I've turned it around and the front is now facing my tummy, I'm now going to make a big mistake and screw it all up. Right? Probably. So, this is the other side. the internal side. So this goes like this. And now, I've already scribed the lines earlier on these pieces right here. So you can see the line is here. And I'm going to line it up with the front, because this is the front. Right? Yeah, this is the front. So this is where it needs to look nice. As you can see here, this is where amateur hour comes in. Look at the difference here, right? The width of this piece here is 292 millimeters. This is 304 millimeters. So not I'm certainly not Bob Vila. Where we line that up and then return to clamping. Nothing like doing this while you're having a nice cigar. Okay. Here we go again. Now we'll use this as the bottom. Well, there's a reference point. Well, that's not the same height. Yeah, they're not quite exact. That's going to be a problem. Di says Hunt Valley Mortis Tending Massacre. And Bud says Bob Vila doesn't use millimeters. That he doesn't. That he doesn't. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna do this again. So, like I said, these little like cam locks there. Oh, probably need to have some ears. We can see. Well, on this side, you have to do it inside. How do we line that? Okay, one of the things we got to figure out now, because there's a difference. So I put a little bit of a line here because you can see there is a center point that you can see inside here somehow. Oh yeah, there it is. Actually, I should probably scribe it up here. That'll tell me where to put the tenon. Okay, there we go. right. All right, what I'm not liking so much is that my cigar keeps going out. All right, now that might not be bad. Let's have a look. Again, these are really wide to allow for a lot of mistakes. Those are really wide. Those are comically wide. And then okay, a little bit off. You can see right there, it's a little bit off. But here, the nice thing about this is that even though it's a little bit off here, I can come forward with it and make it just right. Nice and flush here. So it's a little bit off here. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Now, the thing is that I also have a center panel that I want to install. And the trick now, so why is this the length that it is? Like, why is it this length? Because I need about 13 inches to hold the crate that holds the 20-pound propane tank. And I thought, you know what, the entire heater is just about this wide. Like here's the on this board, you can kind of, this is the top. You can kind of see I scribed on a little bit of the feet, outline of feet. So it pretty much fits on the entire top. So I thought to myself, why not make it so that I can put the sustainers on the other half and then still have enough space for the tank to go here. So that's why we are at the width that we are. So now we have to put a vertical here. The thing about the verticals, though, is that it has to be fairly accurate. So this is the side. We can only go, yeah, this is the side. 418, it has to be 418 millimeters, right? Now the width, the 3/4 inch board is actually 18 millimeters in thickness. So this is 18 millimeters. And then now we need to have 18, I said 418 millimeters, 436 millimeters is where we need to go, 436. Before I put that line there. $436. Okay, there that is. Okay, there we go, 436. And now we have our center panel that has to go here. Now, as you can see here, you might be able to see here better, it's shorter. My original specification for this was to be 13 inches wide, but the piece of plywood that I had left around here in the shop was only 48. So I decided to shorten it up a little bit. So there it is. That should go there. Now, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold that up. I'm going to scribe another line here. That's where we're going to set it up. That's right. And this should allow us to hit it right on the money, I think. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. Just come in and lock it in. This time I'm gonna make it a little bit. I think we can do a little too. I'm gonna come over here. Okay, like we did last time, we're gonna figure out the center for this. Okay. There's actually a notch right here. All right. Hmm. That one looks a little bit wide. Now let's see how well that fits. All right, so there that is. It's a little bit shy, but if I can, the nice thing about these tenons is that you can push them forward. They give you a little bit of room, so that can be nice and flush. All right, excellent. That works. So now that's finished for the bottom. Now to do the top. So this is the top of the top. Yeah, okay, good. I'm gonna go over this side. And we're going to need the A panel, which is this panel. Oh, this is center. This is the A. As you can see, I don't know if you can see here, but I've said this is the front. So this is the front here for A. So it should go like this. So now it's a matter of lining up the lines. It's a little bit hard to see because, there's all this like glue or whatever, residual muck that is on it. All right, I think that's good. Cigar's doing well. Oh, it's kind of went out again. So now we're going to go back and do it again. Maybe we can get a better angle for you guys. More action cam kind of stuff, right? Okay, so now we've got this. Gonna line that up. Turn it on. Now again, we're back to being uneven back here, right? So this is a little bit off. So now it's a matter of finding that center. Ooh, gotta be careful with that. I'm bringing the line out longer so that I can see it on this fence, right? There's actually a notch here that you can see. Okay. Good. That looks a little bit odd, right? That could be a little bit off, but let's see what happens. Again, it can move a little bit. It's a little bit proud over here. I think I mucked that up. Yeah, I mucked that up just a little bit. Maybe we can redo that again. Make it a little bit wide. Well, maybe I won't change that. Okay, so that gives us our on both sides. Now we need to do this side. Now the front has come closer to me. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, here we go again. All right. Hmm. It's a little bit proud, a little bit messing up here. So that gives us both sides. Oh, now it's time for the hard one. 436 millimeters. Of course, my cigar has gone out, which is not a good thing. Where did the lighter go? Here it is. So how are you guys' cigars coming along? This is not bad. So we need 436 millimeters. Okay, 436. That gives us the 418. Is that right? Yep, 418 there. And we're going to need so on the other side, we subscribe this side. So line it up there. I think what we're doing is we're going to go back to the larger setting again. I think I need to have a little bit more. Not everything, things here are not very square, so by going to the larger setting, that will give us a little bit more leeway for my mistakes. Okay, one more time. Continue the light we're getting. Okay. Now we'll turn this around because this is the front, so you can see the front. This is supposed to be the front, so that can be nice and flush as well. All right. Okay, okay, good work. Good news, good news. So that's pretty much, whoops. There we go. That's pretty much it for that domino. I was able to cut in all of those, all the parts, all the panels rather quickly. I think what, it took maybe half an hour at the most. So I guess I can't complain about that. No dust either. That was really nice. Like I said, I enjoy these Volsteads quite a lot. Let's move over here. And yeah, I'm enjoying this one. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. So before I glue it up, I'm gonna do some prepping on it. Maybe do some Bondo to it to give it a little bit nicer finish on certain parts of certain areas. Ah. So how's everyone's day been? Been good? And how's the cigars coming along? I'm enjoying this one. I always enjoy these Volsteads. Now that I've cut all those dominoes, got to return the domino back to Matt tomorrow. Don't want to wear out my welcome to tools. So fairly good. I thought that was kind of interesting and fair. Quite simple to use. It doesn't mean that it makes my lack of experience any better. But I thought that was really nice. Quick, easy. Maybe with more practice, get a little better results or better cuts. If I had better cut wood, if I had better milling. Tomorrow I'm heading up to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because it turns out I found there's this thing called the Wood Pro Expo. I don't know what it's about. I guess it's a wood show, woodworking tools or something. I have no idea. But I was like, I got free. There are free passes, so I got a free pass. So I was like, let me go and check it out for a little bit, see how it is. I was supposed to be originally we were not going to have a show today because I was supposed to be in Chicago for this roasting summit. But so much is going on here. My uncle's 1 year death anniversary is on Saturday, and all these events are happening like tomorrow and today, and even like on Saturday, Sunday. So it's like, oh man, a lot of stuff to do. So I called up the publisher, Colleen of Roast Magazine, said, "Hey, I can't make it. Give my ticket to someone else that would like to go." So also that's another thing that if you just joined us or recently, after I said this, Sunday heading up to the Philadelphia area for the Widmer's Tobacco Chili Cook-Off. We're going to head up there. And yeah, if you want to come on up and join us. Rusty's going to be competing in the chili cook-off. He's been doing it for the last couple of years. Always good chilies that are there to have, and I always eat too much. Always eat too much. So you're basically just sitting around, smoking cigars, drinking, having chili after a certain point. A good time. And Widmer's is a nice little shop, nice selection of cigars, fairly reasonable prices. And the owner, Barry, is a really, really great guy. So totally worth coming up to it, or coming, it totally worth your time to come back to it. And yeah. Yeah, I still have, and since I have the cold, it's a little bit hard for me to tell really what am I actually tasting. But the flavors are very nice. I do like the overall experience. And to a certain extent, maybe that's really enough, as long as you're enjoying the overall experience of the cigar. It doesn't need to be more than that. Oh, and the coffee. Let's go back to this Alpine Start coffee, which is relatively disagreeable. Yeah, it's a little bit dirty. Not the worst coffee I've ever had, but certainly not amongst the greats. It's almost election time. I've been seeing more election advertisements. I guess maybe I'm watching more TV. Oh, speaking of TV, here's something that's kind of irritating me. It's like, so I'm using this TV, and suddenly I get a notice that says Netflix will stop working on this television on November 10th. And I was like, what are you talking about? Paid our subscription. So evidently, Netflix wants you to upgrade your televisions after a certain point. And I'm like, the TV is perfectly fine. Why would I need to buy another TV? Because all the smart TV tracking that goes on, they want more updated data about us. Yeah, Bob Vila doesn't use millimeters. It's interesting because I've been thinking about things in both millimeters and imperial. It's kind of weird. I think like this build here has been, the one spec is at 418 millimeters, and then the rest of it's all in like imperial. So like the board, of course, is 3/4 inch, which when you measure it out is 18 millimeters. It could be 17, 18, depending on what. So it's interesting. Like I said, I went down to Arlington today. I was bidding on this auction. The television station WETA, which is the Washington D.C. Public Broadcast System, the PBS station. Basically, evidently, they built a new station, a new whole studio, whole everything new in Bethesda, Maryland, and they decided that they're going to move out of their facility in Arlington and auction everything off. Because I went there today to pick up what I had won, and I mean, this entire building is under like auction. Like they sold everything. There's a whole crew in there in the studio section of it, that's the main stage, where they're pulling down all of the pipe for the grid that hangs above the ceiling. I was like, wow, dude, that's a lot of work. It's impressive. And yeah, so what I got today, what I got in this was, I really didn't have too much I really wanted. A lot of what they have, of course, is broadcast, so it's very specific to real world broadcast. But there was a couple VTR video tape recorders that I wanted to get. They had an old school Betacam SX deck that I was able to win, $60. And I also got a HD cam deck, editing deck, $36. I was like, oh damn, these are great deals. And then I got a VHS stereo deck, like a more consumer oriented one, because I was thinking I want to digitize some of these old videos that I have, and or at least watch them. And so that's kind of why I'm looking for these decks. What I really wanted was this video high 8 deck, but this guy outbid me. I was really salty about that. Oh well, what can you do? What can you? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But these are massive decks. Like each of these, like Betacam and HD cam decks, weigh like at like 150 pounds. I mean, they're massive, massive. So now I have U-matic, which is the old 3/4 inch tape system that what we were actually using when I first started in television many, many years ago, back in the late 80s. And then we got the Betacam. And the interesting Betacam is kind of the professional level of Betamax, right? You guys remember Betamax? So Betamax versus VHS. Betamax and VHS were the big ones, right? And Betamax actually ran at a slightly faster tape speed. And the big difference between the VHS and the Betamax was, like, this is your video head, right? Your video rotating drum head. The VHS would pull it across the face while the drum spun. What made Betamax better quality-wise was that it pulled the tape all the way around like this, so the reading and writing covered more tape area, which gave it higher resolution, better quality. Of course, back in those days, was it Panasonic? I think was the one that developed VHS, and Panasonic decided we're gonna license it to everybody and their mother. Where Sony wanted to keep it proprietary for many years, so Sony kept the proprietary, lost out, and VHS won the consumer wars. However, in the professional world, Betacam was the dominant player, especially in the 80s and 90s or early 90s. Betacam was basically Betamax, but at a faster speed. So your 60-minute Betamax tape would only be about 20 minutes in a Betacam recorded deck or camcorder. Again, faster speed, more wrap around the drum head. And Betacam ran at faster speed. That's why you only had so much time. And then Betacam actually had two different formats. So you're familiar with the Betamax size, the little tapes. Betacam also had the larger tapes that ran for like an hour. So basically, they were just bigger. So these decks can play both format sizes. Oh, I think one of my little fluorescent lights is dying. After like 25 years, you can kind of see it flickering on the bench. So I got a bunch of tapes from these old days when I was doing television, and I was like, oh, maybe I've always wanted to have a Betacam deck just so I can play them back. And now I can. And here's the interesting thing. So if you and they were all the same format, right? Beta. So you could take a Betacam recorded deck, and we tried this. Did I try it this way or did I try it the other way? I can't remember how we tried it one day. we took a Beta cam recorded cassette, put it into a Beta Max player, and you couldn't see the video because it's too slow, so it wouldn't resolve, but you could hear the soundtrack. Of course, it sounded like one of those like old, but you could actually hear the audio track a little bit. I thought that was kind of interesting. So after that, there was a Woodcraft in Springfield, Virginia. So I went over there to go check it out, to look for more Festool stuff. I ended up getting some sandpaper. That's what I got. I got sandpaper. I was sanding these panels yesterday, and some of it's a little bit rough, like that. That's this piece here, where it's got all this, whatever this is. So I was trying to get it off, and the only sandpaper, the coarsest sandpaper I have is 80 grit. And I was like, man, I could really, that's the coarsest. I wish I had something more coarse. So today when I was at the dealer, they had these small packs of 40 grit. So I was like, ooh, 40 grit. I'm gonna try that. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow. Maybe we should try that now. Why don't we do that now? Let's do that now. Let's give a try and see if there will be better results. Gosh, is it even in here? All right, here it is. Here's our sander. Take this off. If you ever get one of these sanders, right? These are like these mesh nets. If you use these mesh nets, you need to get these protecting pads that go between the hook and loop and this, because if you use this on this, eventually this will melt and it will no longer stick. I found that out the hard way. And these are $50, whereas these protective pads are $8 a piece. So much better. All right, let's do some sanding here. Here it is, the 40 grit. All right, let's get our pieces. We're going to take this and see if we can get some better results out of it. And one thing I did have trouble with yesterday was it was creeping on me. So I got these little bench things that I think will work better. Oof. And what these are like little pads that will stick and hold your piece in place. This was actually like walking around the table last night. Put that there, put that here. This should give us a little bit of relief. Yeah, much better. All right, so here's our piece. About 40. Ooh, this is very coarse. It's kind of comical. Now, on these particular sanders, these are the new generation when they have these holes, and these holes are designed to both suction and glide your sander. But so you want to line them up carefully. Wow, that's really very coarse. Plug it back in. Connect our suction and so Tony's asking, where's the spacer pad on these? So these are regular type of sanding pads, right? So these you don't need to change those protection pads. Only on the mesh net ones do you need to do that. Mainly because I think there's something with the heat that's generated on it that causes it to melt. All right, here we go. All right, so in just a few minutes, I think that we got some nice looking results overall. Like it's removed most of it. I mean, we probably could keep going. And you can see here there was like some rough rough spots here. That's relatively smoothened out, right? Not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Looks a little bit better. Now, of course, this is kind of like superfluous because this is actually going to be this side is the bottom of the top. So no one will ever really see that surface, right? So let's see how the comments are saying. O'Brien says, I was driving. Why is a piece of plywood being standard? So I'm making a cart for the heater. And that's we've been making the parts for it today, mostly dominoing it out. And yeah, that's what we've been doing. Rusty says, just came back on. No, I have not finished the cigar. Still here. I just put that down while we were doing some sanding. Now time to relight and get back to us. Oh, just a demonstration. Yeah. Cool. Yes, absolutely. Is this a preview of the 300? Maybe. Yeah, the nice thing, it really is very good at dust collection. That's really the whole thing about this that I'm really liking. This is what they call the ETS EC150/3, right? You can see that here, and it has a 3 here on top. What that means is that it's a 3 millimeter spin. They have another one that's 5 millimeter, and that's a little bit more aggressive. And then they have another one that has a 2 millimeter for more fine sanding. The 3 millimeter is a little bit finer sanding. The 5 is a little bit harder sanding, and then the 2 has a much more fine finish sanding. And the nice thing about all these, they're very much involved in dust extraction. So you can see here, I'm not covered in dust at all. Whereas if I was using my DeWalt or my Ryobi random orbit 5-inch sander, I would be coated in dust by now. All right, so let's light this back up. Heading to the finish of this cigar. Rusty says, it's so therapeutic, kind of like watching the U-Log on TV. But even this, that's supposed to be kind of a finer sander with the 3 millimeter. It's with the 40 grit, it's fairly aggressive in how it takes off. Now they have another one that's called the Rotex, which is supposed to be very aggressive. One day I would like to have the Rotex. The cart the cart will be much needed. Like I wanted to, like you were here, we're smoking the other day, and I have it on this cart here, right? This old like food service cart, but it's really high. I don't like it that high. I want it to be a little bit more torso level so that the heat is a little bit better, because right now it's like kind of high. So that would be, hopefully this will be the right, I think I got the right sizes. But really it's just it's also an excuse for me to at least play around with trying to understand what do I need to do or what do I need to learn. Like, there are certain parts of the plywood that's not very nice quality. It's basically very exterior grade plywood. So there's a lot of gouges and not so and rough. It's very rough. So I was thinking, like, well, I know that people use Bondo, so I'll get some Bondo and play around with that. So get the chance to work with that and understand that a little bit more. Instead of using pocket holes, I thought I would borrow Matt's Domino to learn how that works, get a feel for that. So it's really just more about playing around and experimenting. What I've also been working on is this. You can kind of see it back there. You see this little rigid, Tony knows this one. Thank you, Tony. This little rigid vacuum since I've been thinking a lot about dust extraction, I was like, you know what, man, I should use that more. So I cleaned it up. I cleaned it up really well. You look at it, it looks brand new again, right? It looks brand new. Cleaned it up, tossed everything out, washed it, scrubbed it down really hard. And then Rigid started making a HEPA filter for it. So HEPA bag, HEPA filter. So I upgraded to the HEPA filter. And then I got a Bauer from Harbor Freight hose, a little bit longer, maybe one that would actually work and fit on here, just to like, have a little more options. Rusty says, 300th episode live, making of an espresso cart in a 6-hour extra. That would be something. I don't know if we can make it in 6 hours. Yeah, there's no dust. I mean, there's a little bit of dust and stuff and some ash there. Yeah, the one thing about this whole Festool thing that when I started working on the bar top, I ended up getting a couple pieces that were that I wanted to use, like not cutting boards, but work surfaces. So I got some nice woods. I got some mahogany, some sycamore, and I started working that outside. And I was using my Ryobi 5-inch orbital sander, which is a perfectly fine sander. But man, you do get that vibration after so long of using it, and it just generates so much dust. And I figure I'll be outside, be fine, no problem. It'll blow away. But that night, those nights that I would do that, man, I could feel it. I could feel it in here, right? In the lungs. I was like, shit, man, I need to like get more serious about that. So Matt got the 5 version of this, the 5 orbit, the 5 millimeter orbit. And I've been using that I was using that to do all the sanding of the bar top. And I started using it without the filter, without the dust collection. And I was like, man, dust is everywhere, of course. And then we hooked it up to a different, he's got a rigid vac. So we hooked it up to that. And even on that, it's so interesting because it was like no dust at all. Because the way that this thing works, it's engineered to suck in the dust and push it out the port. So if you have some kind of vacuum system to it, it really works very well. Where it changes is when you get their dust extractor. It's actually down here behind that bowl, right? You can see it here. This is the CT MIDI. And the nice thing about that is that you've got this, it will turn on, right? This is plugged into the CT MIDI. So when you turn this on, it turns on the dust extraction, but after you turn it off, it runs for a couple seconds to pull everything through and help keep the tool clean. So that's a nice feature. And then you can also, and so it's all integrated, right? So I can just pull this, and then put it all together onto the domino. So here's the domino, and you can hear the dust extractor running. And then it also has this kind of fun feature. This is fun, right? You can get a Bluetooth attachment for it. So, and it'll operate independently. So here's some ash. So that's kind of fun, right? Get this off of here. One of the nice things also is that if you notice that when I was actually sanding, I wasn't actually pushing down on it, right? I wasn't giving a lot of pressure or anything. I was really just kind of lightly holding it, right? Lightly holding it just to control where it's the movement. And I'm using the hose to kind of keep it flat, right? So that it's because sometimes you're pushing on it, you kind of like will ride and it will be uneven. So you just kind of hold it back a little bit and it holds the pad parallel to your work surface. The other part of it is that because this CT MIDI you can kind of see this little plus and minus sign down there, the green LED, that's actually how much it's suctioning, right? You can increase the power, lower the power. So I'm really running this sander at like the lowest power, the lowest suck section setting, because there's actually, you can actually set it too high where it starts to suction down onto the work surface, right? So if you get it just right, it will glide and you don't have to press down. It's really, I've been watching a lot of videos about it to try to understand it better, but it's really fascinating and interesting how nice their system works. And then you can there's even a dial here, so you can dial in the speed. I think this one is maximum 12,000 RPMs. So I just keep it at full and works very nice. This is the most modern version. Very low profile, very comfortable. Really, I really have liked it. And what I really like the most about it is the way that everything that they make integrates with their dust collection, because now that we're older and I'm feeling more and more like that's a problem. Oh yeah, the joint. What's the domino? The domino is the jointer, right? So it puts these kind of mortises, and then the I guess the reason they're called dominoes is they look like that, and then these fit in here, and they come in different lengths, so you can get it different lengths and different strengths and stuff like that. It's a fascinating system that evidently causes a lot of consternation amongst people on the internet. So evidently, with a lot of the woodworking YouTubers, they talk about how every time they put the domino in a video, people get mad. I mean, it's expensive tool. Like this is like $1,300, so it's not cheap. Nothing about Festool is inexpensive, but the way they work and actually using it today, I was really, I don't really know. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm barely understanding what's happening. So, no, Brian says I still need 4 people to attend my free dinner event tomorrow. Man, if I didn't have this going away party to go to, I totally would be there. My apologies. So I don't know if you're thinking. I mean, I would like to in a beautiful world. I would change everything to Festool because of the dust extraction. But man, it's wildly expensive. And after all these years, I have quite a lot of tools, jigsaws, routers. So to change them, I mean, they're all okay. Like the DeWalt's are good. The Skill routers, okay. If I was actually doing this professionally, I would buy them. But but maybe slowly. The nice thing is that modern times, now that dust extraction has gotten more into the mainstream, a lot of companies are doing that as well. Makita has their own systems. Makita actually has just announced a sander that looks almost exactly like this and performs, I think, fairly similar. And they use a battery pack on it. So it's a battery pack. So it's a cable thing. Right? So you wear the battery pack like on a sling, so you can get range of motion and keep the tool lightweight. And then they have their own extraction system. But the interesting thing, the Makita extraction systems, when you look at the price of the Makita extractors, they're not really much different in price than Festool, which I was surprised with. But if you really want to get that kind of dust extracted, the Harbor Freight just came out with one on the Hercules brand. A couple weeks ago, they announced it. $300. They have it at the one in Timonium. $300 for a dust extractor that has a lot of the functionalities of this system, where you have a nicer hose. You can plug your tool directly into the dust extractor, so it will turn off and on automatically. This has like a 4-second runtime after you stop. The Hercules runs for like 20 seconds. It's pretty long. But $300, HEPA filters, and everything about it's cheaper. You for like 60 or 30 bucks. I think it's $60 for the two HEPA filters for replacements. So you can get away for fairly, very much more reasonable price with the Hercules. And looks like the performance is pretty good, pretty good. So the Intemperance Volstead Revenuer Grand Corona, very nice. I've been enjoying it. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Like their whole sanding, even like, where is it? I got this. I found this on Amazon for like half price. But I thought it was awesome, but hilarious. So you know about hand sanding blocks, right? Well, this is a hand sanding block from Festool. It even says it here, Festool. And it has this attachment so that if you want to hand sand, you attach, how does this fit? If this goes on here, you know, guess this goes on like this. There we go. This goes on there, and then this goes on here. No? How's this supposed to work together? I'm going to have to write to their customer service. But ideally, somehow this fits on there, and then you can... Why is that so small? Is that supposed to be like that? I haven't read the directions. Maybe it fits like this, and maybe that fits. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so this goes on like this goes on like this, and this goes on like this, and then now... So kind of fun, kind of fun. But that was like, normally just like 85 bucks on Amazon, 45. So, yeah. So what do you guys got going on this weekend? Anything interesting? And Brian's got his dinner tomorrow. Like I said, I got to go up to this thing in Lancaster. This wood show. If you guys are interested, Wood Pro Expo happening tomorrow. If you just do a Google search, Wood Pro Expo free pass, there's a code that you can get online and just enter it into your thing, and free registration. Normally 45 bucks, but free. It was started today. Tomorrow's the last day. It runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So, I thought I'd go and like, maybe it could be done by 1, then come home early. Brian's heading to the American Heart Association walk Saturday morning. Nice. How long is that walk? I should do more walking. Oh, 5K. Nice. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I guess that should be it for tonight. Thank you for joining me for Tool Time here on the Coffee and Cigar Show for the Thursday Night Hang. Playing around with tools from Festool and the RoMa Craft Intemperance Volstead Revenuer Corona Gorda. Really enjoyable. Hopefully by next week, I won't have this cold anymore. And we'll be able to get to one of those Garcia cigars, maybe the 20th anniversary, or maybe the Garcia first, depending. So if you have time on Sunday, come up to the Philly area to Widmer's Tobacco. Rusty's going to be competing in their annual chili cook-off. We're just going to hang out, smoke cigars, eat chili, chill, then go home. So that's pretty much it for today, for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Glad you're here again. Good to see all of you. Such a nice time to hang. Maybe by next week I'll have this cart finished and you can see it in its true glory. Mom, always good to see you, man. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll have another coffee Q&A on the main channel, 10 a.m. Eastern, every week, every day, every Monday through Friday. Tomorrow, my plan is to go up to the World, to the Wood Pro Expo and see what kind of coffee they have there in Lancaster. And is Lancaster close to Shady Maple Buffet? Yes, it's fairly close. The place that this is being held in is actually in Lancaster City. So that's about maybe a 25-minute drive over to Shady Maple. When I was up there last week, we went to that Festool event and went to this place called Utter something in Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Very like Pennsylvania Dutch kind of place. Sandwiches. They have a particular type of bologna, I think it is, that's very particular to this area, that is sweet. It's not bologna, it's something else. But quite interesting, quite good. Ice cream they made in-house, really great. Maybe I'll stop there for ice cream after. All right, so hope you guys have a wonderful week out there. And see you next time.